Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Nevada Public Library's Global Explorers Program. Today, we're going to be looking at the state of Texas, going over a little bit about its history and culture. And we'll start with today's reading of the book Armadillo Rodeo. Armadillo Rodeo by Jan Brett. Armadillos, 1, 2, 3. Bo, let's go. Ma Armadillo called to her boys as they headed out to dig, deep in the heart of Texas hill country. Stay close. Her boys didn't see too well, just like all armadillos, and she didn't want to lose them, especially Bo, who was always wandering off. 1, 2, 3. Bo, don't go getting distracted on me. But Bo already was. He was looking at a lizard. Curious as always, Bo followed the lizard down to Can Creek just as Harmony Jean came sliding down the bank from the Curly H, wearing her brand new boots. Pointy-toed, high-heeled, hand-tooled, chili pepper red boots with fancy cutwork, tall tops, and a Curly H brand. She was here to scuff them up. Today was rodeo day, and Harmony Jean was not about to ride in a barrel race looking like a tenderfoot in new boots. She found a muddy place and hopped and splashed until her boots had a worn, lived-in look. Please, she whooped and hollered, look at me! Won't you just look at me? Bo's ears perked up at the sound of that pretty voice. He lifted his head and squinted. What he saw was all that red leather shimmering and prancing over the creek bed. Why, for sure, it looked to Bo as if he'd found a friend, a rip-roarin', rootin'-tootin', shiny red armadillo. Bo grinned. Howdy, he shouted. Harmony Jean, job done, lit off through the back 40 to the Curly H. Bo never looked back. He blinked and squinted as he trundled after his bright red friend as fast as he could go. Wait up, he called. Back at the creek, his mama twitched an ear. Is that hollerin' one of my boys? She asked. Armadillos, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, Bo! He'd done it again. Bo arrived at the rodeo just as Harmony Jean was swinging a leg up on her pony's Spotlight. He saw the perky nose and silvery tail of the red armadillo leaping up ahead of him. Wait for me, Bo called. When Spotlight felt Bo on his back, he gave a hopping buck. Harmony Jean stayed aboard, but Bo was tossed high in the air. The little armadillo landed in the dust. As he unrolled, he smiled, brushed himself off, and shouted, Hey, partner, you're my kind of friend. Bo tried to catch sight of that rootin'-tootin' red armadillo, but he had to move fast. As he zigged and zagged across the arena, Ma Armadillo, with her 3 boys, was hot on his trail, asking everyone she met if they'd seen her Bo. Bo was still looking when he saw the armadillo headed for the barbecue. I'm right behind you, Bo called. But before he could catch up, the armadillo disappeared under the blue-checked tablecloth. Bo dove after him and peered around. His friend was nibbling on something green, so Bo ambled over and took a big bite. It was a red-hot, bright green jalapeno pepper. His mouth on fire, Bo ran out and doused his head in lemonade to stop the burn. Delicious, he gulped. What's next? Chow time over, the cowhands got out their fiddles and everyone went into the barn for a little dancing. Bo struggled to see his pal. Finally, he spotted a flash of red, right in the middle of all those stomping feet. Bo two-stepped toward his frisky new friend and cut in. Harmony Jean went tap-slide-tap with her right foot, then heel-stomped, high-kicked with her left, and Bo was hurled high in the air. As he landed in the hayloft, he let out a rebel yell, Yahoo! Not far away, Ma Armadillo heard the commotion. That's my Bo, she cried. By the time Bo made it down the hay chute, the dance floor was empty. Harmony Jean and her friends had settled around the campfire. She looked down at her boots. They were starting to pinch. She slipped them off and tossed them behind her. Bo bounded up to a pointy-toed, high-heeled, hand-tooled, chili pepper red boot. Howdy, he said. You're a mighty hard fellow to keep up with. My name's Bo. What's yours? His new friend didn't answer. Bo stepped even closer. He could see the perky nose and the shy smile. What's next? He asked. But instead of answering, his friend fell over, plop, and Bo was left looking down an opening. He stuck his head in and sniffed. It didn't smell like an armadillo. He poked his nose against the leather. It didn't feel like an armadillo. He squinted up close. It didn't even look like an armadillo. Nose in the air, he wailed, "You're not an armadillo!" Not far away, the sharp ears of his ma recognized the voice of her boy. His three brothers heard him too. Their search was over. Boys, let's go get Bo and head on home. Time to sleep, Bo, his ma said. We have to go out and dig tomorrow. Yes, Ma. But Bo's thinking about the Curly H. He knows that whenever he wants a change, he can mosey on down for some red-hot chili pepper excitement, and his ma will always be there to bring him home. And now we move on to our 5 facts section, giving you some general information about the Lone Star State. Fact number 1. Texas is famous for its ranches and cowboys, but it also has a rich history. One thing that illustrates this is the fact that Six Flags theme park, which originated in Texas, is named for the 6 different flags that Texas has been ruled under. That is France, Spain, Mexico, the Republic of Texas, the United States of America, and the Confederate States of America. Number 2. The golden age of the Texas cowboy was just after the Civil War. The war had wiped out most of the North's beef supply, so many former soldiers, ex-slaves, and others made a living driving cattle from southern ranches to railroad stations to help supply the North with beef. Fact number 3. The term maverick, meaning a person who is independent or unorthodox, comes from the 19th century Texas cattle rancher Samuel Maverick. Samuel didn't brand his cattle, most likely either out of stubbornness or because he was more interested in politics than actually ranching, but this led to other ranchers referring to any unmarked cows as mavericks, and eventually the term expanded to mean humans who are not part of the group. Fact number 4. King Ranch, located in Kingsville, Texas, is the home of 35,000 cattle and 200 horses. The ranch covers over 825,000 acres and is bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island. And finally, also a part of Texas's history is the 1900 Galveston hurricane. It is the deadliest natural disaster in the history of the United States. Official reports say a death total of around 8,000 people. Compare this to the second deadliest natural disaster, Hurricane Katrina, which killed approximately a little over 1,800. The Galveston hurricane was so damaging that after hitting Texas from the Gulf of Mexico, the storm turned northeast and would impact areas as far north as Newfoundland, Canada. And now we move on to today's craft, where we'll be making a common Texas animal, the snake, out of empty paper towel rolls. So what you'll need is, of course, an empty paper towel roll, string, pipe cleaner, and some googly eyes, as well as scissors, tape, and or glue. So the first thing you'll want to do is decorate the empty paper towel roll. And if you don't have one of these, you can pick up a supply kit here at the library, which has the paper towel roll, string, pipe cleaner, and googly eyes in it. But decorate it any way you would like. Mine, I have a design somewhat based on the Texas flag with the red and blue stripes, and then if you can see it on the screen there, there's some gray stars. But I just colored it in with markers. You can use whatever you like to design whatever you want of how your snake is going to look. But once you've got that finished, take your scissors, and we're going to cut it into 4 parts. And so to do that, just do a cut down approximately the center of it. And paper towel rolls can be kind of tough, so I'm going to cut once on one side and then come from the other side to finish it off here. And we're going to make a total of 3 cuts, 1 down the center, which will give us 2 approximately equal pieces. And then we're going to do that again with the center of each of the smaller pieces. And so we'll be cutting our snake here into 4 approximately equal quadrants. Once you have that done, you want to choose whichever end is going to be the head and attach the googly eyes. So I'm going to use the glue here and just put it on the back of the googly eyes here. And just kind of place it at the front here. And a second time. And while those are drying, we'll take the pipe cleaner here and we're going to fold it in half. And you want to do your best to try to get the ends to where they're at the same length. And if you have trouble with the length, you can try to cut it if need be, if it's too long. We're gonna fold the ends to where they look kind of like the letter Y. And then on the back end, we're going to fold it up on itself to shorten the length there. And I'm gonna use tape this time to attach it inside the front of the head of the snake. And as you can see then, the pipe cleaner becomes the snake's tongue. And then lastly, we take our string, and you'll want string that's about the length of your paper towel roll. And I'm just going to use tape again, and we're going to tape it to the inside of each quadrant. So going to tape it to the head here, and then thread it through each of the body parts, attaching as we go. And when you are done, you'll have your very own Texas style snake. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it and also learned something about the state of Texas. See you again in 2 weeks.